to say, hey, Flan, how are you this evening?
How are you?
I'm good. I am nursing whatever cold or bug tried to jump on me for the past couple of days, but I am here. I missed recording the show. So, are you ready to start the show?
Sure.
Hey, everyone, and welcome to or welcome back to One Man and One Woman, the podcast. I am one half of your co hosts, Tara Michelle.
Where that extra S comes from, I'll never understand. But I'm your other co-host, J. Flan.
Co-hosts. Do you know how to spell host? It's
It or
Hosts. So you got to
host.
make
You don't
sure
gotta be
they feel
hosts.
co-hosts. Like, why you hating?
I'm not hating. I'm just
We've
I'm
been
just
gone for
observing.
2 weeks, and this is what we doing. Okay, so
Observe.
welcome back to One Man and One Woman, the podcast plan, and welcome back to myself because we've been up out of here. But we have a great episode, I think. Um, since we've been gone, there have a lot has happened in the world. And I feel like we need to talk about some of those things. I mean, there's so much, so there's no way we're going to get to it all. But I would like to touch on some things that are probably affecting people right now. Give a little bit of a encouragement to the folks, I guess, if that's okay with you.
Sure. I'm all about encouraging the folks. If that's what we do, let's encourage the folk.
And the whole show's not going to be about that, but actually, I feel like I'm not even going to start off with that. I think we've been dealing with that enough every day. So, this is something I sent on January 1st to the chat, and I told you I wanted to talk about this on the show. So, it's completely out of pocket, and I feel like let's just come back with a bang. So, this was posted in a meme. It says, women are purposely staying single because men aren't men anymore. How you feel about that?
I stay on message and on brand. I am very much a love those who love you, or like those who like you. If whatever percentage of women this is that have decided they're no good men, right? Then okay, stay unmarried. We're not looking to marry you. I'm good. I know there are women out there who want to be married, so the women who don't, yeah, enjoy yourself.
Huh. So, do we not even want to attempt to address why women feel like men aren't men anymore?
Oh, I mean, we can, but again, most of the things that I think, you know, are these things that people believe about men not being men. I don't know. They're either over exaggerated because there are too many assholes online, or or
Hmm.
maybe you should probably go one block away from the area you've been in where you've been meeting all your dudes, and see if there's some dudes on the other block that might be different. But I don't know. I'm open to it. We can do it.
I am going to agree with what you said about. I think social media is doing a lot of this. I think the algorithm sends you stuff. If you're watching it, it's going to keep sending you that stuff. You're going to be inundated with that same stuff. Usually, these podcasts who have this gender war agenda. That's what I'm calling it right now because we just saw tonight's conversation fall apart. Essentially, most of the favorites have left the show. A lot of chaos. Keita Rose is gone crazy. She seems to be unraveling online. Don't know what all she's been through, but I'm seeing her and Randy somewhere everywhere. And I don't watch the clips or follow either one of them, but the algorithm is definitely trying to pedal them my way on YouTube. I was actually happy to see Trip go because I feel like that platform was starting to be for just the rah-rah and the salaciousness and the gender war agenda. So I feel like he's better served on his own platform, which I think is coming soon, sometime this year. I forget what he said, but I think if all you see And this is the thing I've been saying for years regarding white people who live in areas where there are no black people, and all they see of us is what they see on TV, on cops, or on really, really um, racist platforms on social media that want to show the worst of black people. If that's all the experience you have, you're gonna start to feel like all men are that way, all women are that way, all white people are that way, all black people are that way. And then you get yourself stuck in a rut. So, of course, it, all of us have dated some not so great people. So you have your personal experience there. But then you turn around and you look on social media and say, this is it. Or you look on the TV shows, like I said, with those hippity hops and real housewives doing this, that, and the third. If all the men seem to be crazy there too, you're looking like regular men are crazy and rich men are crazy. So what's the point? I also like the part where you said, hey, if that's what you've decided for yourself, go ahead and do you. You do have to go where you're liked and supported and where you're wanted. And like you said, there are plenty of women who do still want to be married. So for the women who don't, a part of me wants to say, fine, do what's best for you, but I don't think that's what's best for them. And I think to take that opinion or that stance on it is kind of divisive. I want to try to bring them back to the fold. I want to speak to them in a conversation like this and say, hey, sis, that's not an accurate depiction. Like you said, go fish in another pond or ocean or lake. You might want to try a long distance relationship. I think a lot of times we do this thing where we say it has to be all of these things, and I don't want to try anything outside the box, and you might be selling yourself short. So I would like for women to still believe, for heterosexual women to still believe that there is a man out there for them. I'm kind of scared of this super independent, woman, I don't need a man mentality, because you need air, food, water. People like to play semantics with this and be like, well, it's not a necessity. I think it is. For me, it is. And if you're a woman who and is not great, but I think having that life partner, that spouse to face this stuff with, what's going on right now, especially, is a prime example of wanting to come home to your person and say, whoo, baby, like, what's going on? Have those conversations, hold each other, comfort each other. And I don't know. I think that social media is playing the biggest part in ruining our perception of men.
Yeah. But I also think, I said this when we did that other episode, that we're too eager to accept these negative representations of the other gender. Like if you see these things, like, we don't look for the opposite. I think you're going to be shown certain things, but if you really believe it's out there, go look for it. And if you go look for it, what you look for, you find. I find in life. If I'm looking for a reason to be upset, I'll find one. If I'm looking for something to be grateful for, I'll find that too. It may be a little more difficult, and I may have to search like I know it's there, but you'll find it. But I think, the fact that we're so eager to latch on to these ideas about the other gender, is something, on each side that we need to start looking at. Men, we need to start asking ourselves why we so quick to jump on these posts about, whatever it is that women do wrong, and go so extra hard about that. Like, why is that attractive to you? Why is that fun for you? What enjoyment do you get out of doing that? Why do you do it? And I think women need to do the same thing when they see these posts about men, or there ain't no good men, or blah blah blah. Why is that just so easy for you to accept? Why do you have no rebuttal? Why don't you even go look to see if there's an opposite opinion? That just becomes fact and we run with it. So I think we got to talk about that.
I think the reason that it's so easy to believe is because the algorithm is a part of this machine that's always listening. So if you just got through going through a breakup, or all you talk to your female friends about, or the dog men that you've dated, how he wasn't no good, the algorithm's going to feed that to you. So I think if you're in the middle of going through something where your dating history has been horrible, and you find yourself seeing all of these women on the internet going through the same thing you are and feeling the same way you are, that's your fact. That's your reality.
But that's what I'm
And I
saying.
think
We have
that's
to
the
stop.
thing.
We have to stop just taking what we're fed. Like, we have to stop just saying, "Oh, they showed it to me, so that's what it is." Like, no, go look for the information that you want. Go seek it out. Don't
But
just
that's what
sit
I'm
back and be
saying.
a passive receiver because yeah, they can sell you whatever they want to if you're
But
just
what I'm
passively
saying
just
is
taking
if
whatever
that's your
comes your way.
experience, if that's your experience in life right now, if you're going through a breakup or you've had 3 or 4 breakups in the last 3 or 4 years, that is your reality. So it's not even just about them feeding you. What they're doing is reinforcing what you have already deemed to be true. So I think we need to focus more on w- like why are your relationships not lasting? Are you dating the same person over and over again in a different body? Are you doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result? Taking some accountability for the situations you keep ending up in, the relationships you keep ending up in. Because social media is just going to be here to again feed whatever monster you've already created or reinforce whatever thoughts you have. So it's time to clean house first. Doesn't matter what the outsiders are saying, doesn't matter what everybody else is going through. What is the common denominator in your failed 4 relationships? You. So let's look there. Let's look inward and see what we keep going after, why we keep going after it. Is that thing possible in reality? Is it possible for you? Can you function with, you know, all of these 27 things he has to have? Because he can look great on paper and be a monster in real life. So I think that is really where we need to start in house.
Yeah, I mean, we've got to choose our own destiny. Yes, you need to take your personal accountability, and then need to stop viewing the outside world or this facsimile of a real world as fact. Like you believe something, and then some random stranger says the same thing, and then you're like, oh, well, that's all the proof I need. Like it's not how it works.
Okay. The next meme, GIF, whatever. I'm too old for this. Whatever these things are called. It says men were sending love letters in the middle of wars, and we're settling for boys that think reassurance is too much effort. The bar is in hell.
I think
I will start with this one, and I will say this: we love to compare this current modern day to the old days. And we even like to romanticize those old days. Most of us weren't alive during those times, or a lot of us
facts.
weren't. And if we were, we were children and had no idea what was really going on with the adults. Yes, men did write love letters when they were away at war. What else were they going to do? They wanted to tell the woman that they loved her because they didn't know if they were going to see her again. I'm not saying it's the only reason, but yes, it was a time where there were no cell phones. Out there on that field, you don't have a facsimile machine, if or a telegram or whatever they were doing back then. So you wrote love letters, and now with social media, there's a lot of things. We don't have pay phones anymore. We don't have house phones anymore. A lot of us, so a lot of things have changed. I do believe that a lot of the romance has died. This is not for all men, but on both sides. There's a lot of things that used to be done, a lot of effort that was put forth. Your grandmother was rubbing your granddad's feet, making sure a hot meal was ready the moment he walked in the door, catering to him in a way that most women would never conceive of doing today. So we have to address both sides and think about all the things that women are no longer doing and that men are no longer doing. Because if you want that old school dude, then you better be that old school woman. And I think we forget that. But I can just sticking with this, I can understand that. If you want your dude to write you love letters, tell him that. Tell him you actually want him to buy stamps because I bet you he probably doesn't have any, and that you want him to write you a love letter because today's world is telephone, FaceTime, text messages, reels, things are, if you want that old school romance, tell him that.
Yeah, and then I think again, like you said, we fantasize and we turn these stories that we have no idea are real or not into the norm or something. But also, I, I think ladies would benefit sometimes from if you start to understand the dude that you're with and what's important to him and what he values and things like that, you might start to see some romance in things that didn't normally seem romantic to you. Like I take myself for instance. Everybody knows I'm a huge hip hop head, right? And the music is my life. Music is it's the if you want to get into a debate with me, bring up something with music. If you want to just have any conversation with me and you want to see me light up, like let's start talking about hip hop. Um, if I'm dating someone, I may randomly throughout the day send them a song, and it may be a rap song, maybe a rap song about women or relationships or whatever. That for a lot of women may not hit as the love letter that you wrote on the battleground. But if you know me, you know that in the middle of him doing the thing that he loves more than anything else, listening to music, he thought about you. And then that rings completely different. So sometimes you have to like, it's not always going to look the way you have it pictured in your mind. But there are men out here that are showing you how much they love and appreciate you and care about you just in the ways that they know how to speak. Like we don't, I know you don't like it, but we don't speak the same language. And we got to take some
You know
time
what?
to
I think
learn
I'm
you.
actually starting to believe that. So yeah, that's fine. I think I'm starting to believe that men and women do not speak the same language metaphorically or figuratively or whatever we're doing because clearly we all speak or well us here we're speaking English, but you're right, and this is why love languages became so huge, because what you're explaining right now is that she would have to learn you to understand how you share or give or show love.
But just
But
to finish real quick, I just because I'm not saying that men don't also have to learn how their woman likes to receive love so they can do that as well. But I'm
Mhm.
saying to ladies, you may be missing something. You may think this guy isn't romantic or he doesn't care because care to you looks like flowers or a love letter. But he may be doing things on a daily basis that show you just how connected you are to the things that are the most important to him. And if you shift your perspective a little bit, you might see something. That's all. But we both got to do it.
I agree with that 100%. I think I have learned, oh my God, I have learned um, that you might think you know what you want, and you might have been used to a certain whatever it is. And somebody can step into your life and give you something in a way that you've never experienced before, that you would have never known to ask for or look for. And it can be 1,000 times better than what you thought you needed. So you do have to have an open mind. You do need to have these kinds of conversations, and you do have to know the person that you're with. That is 100% because when you just with the example you gave, if I'm trying to think about my man and the thing that he loves the most in the world, if he's taking the time to include me in that, whether it's music or travel or, you know, if he's a writer and he writes me poetry or something like that. And if I was someone who wasn't into poetry myself, y'all know me. That's the furthest thing from the truth. But I'm just giving out examples here. When someone wants to include you in what they love, what they cherish, what they hold dear, you need to step back and look at that, the beauty of that. You know what I'm saying? It's like a painter painting a portrait of you. You may not be able to paint and may not even be into art, but this person took the time to put effort into that for you. And that's their way of showing love and admiration and things. I think we need to step outside of being so selfish and so individualistic and allow people to love us in the way that they know how, as well as we're getting to learn each other, incorporating those things that you know are going to register with me as well. But I think we focus too much, and I was so guilty of this, focus too much on what we're used to. And I'm telling you, you can count or you can knock your blessings for that. You can miss out on blessings because you want something that you think is just so important and you don't give yourself a chance to do something else. So I agree with you
But
100%.
fellas, if your lady likes letters, at least try your hand. Give it a shot. See what you can do. And ladies, give him some grace when that first letter is just absolute garbage because that's what it's going to be. But you got to love it. You got to love it, and you got to pretend like it was Shakespeare. And that's the only way you're gonna get a second one. Like we got to work with each other.
Mm. I know that's right. That is hilarious. Oh my goodness. Okay. Um, Now I want to switch over into some of the things that have been going on in the world today. I saw an article a long time ago and I couldn't find it. And to be honest, I just don't even want to. look into it, but it was a interview where they were talking to Elon Musk about AI, and he was talking about the sacrifices that are gonna need to be made, and people losing their jobs, but the government is gonna give them a stipend or money every month so they can sit at home and just be at home while the robots are running everything. And when people said, I think the reporter said something to the effect of, because I'm paraphrasing here, like, "Well, what about people who want to have their career, who still want to be out in the workforce, who want to have a life?" Elon Musk looked directly at this person and said, "But does your life actually matter? In the grand scheme of things, when we're talking about making the world a better place, making Earth a better place, going out into space and exploring and using robots to do the things that humans are too weak to do or too fragile to do, does your life really matter in the grand scheme of things?" This man to me is dangerous. And for you to say something like that out publicly, where this can be published, where the interview can be watched back, we're living, breathing human beings. But some of us want to live to be 100. Some of us want, the 70 years or the three score and whatever it is, equals 70 years, however they said in the Bible. People want to live a life and they want to flourish and they want to do it as long as they can. And your response is, while we're trying to move on to bigger and better things, because clearly to him, that's robots and artificial intelligence. Who are you? You're a peon. You're nothing. And I'm wondering why nobody's talking about this. Because I know I'm not the only person who saw this. There were hundreds of thousands, if not millions of, comments on this freaking thing. But what do you think about that? When you have somebody who is essentially what they're calling the second president, he and Trump are sharing this seat, I guess, or whatever. Um, how does that make you feel when he just straight face says, "But does your life actually matter?"
I mean, Elon Musk is batshit crazy, and we've known this for quite some time. Like it might as well be Kanye West standing next to Trump. It'd be pretty much the same thing. Um, and
Ooh,
we don't get fooled by the fact that he owns a tech company that makes electronic cars and think that he's just a genius beyond compare, and everything that he says is fact. No, he's nuts, fucking nuts. And I don't know. I'm at a point in my life where I say the serenity prayer every day. God, grant, what is it? Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. In this case, I'm just having faith that what this crazy man wants to do will not come to pass. If the opportunity comes to oppose it, I'm 100%, on that train. Whatever I need to do to participate in that, I'll do. But I'm not just immediately afraid because the crazy man says he wants to try to do something. Like I don't know. I can't keep jumping with these people because there's too many crazies out there.
right. But he has a lot of money and a lot of power. And when I look at it on its face value, I think to myself, you are a monster. You literally are so into your robots and your artificial intelligence that you are already in the beginning of this. We're nowhere near Terminator iRobot stage. You are already saying that we are expendable, that human lives do not matter. It's ugh. Okay. So I don't even want to spend too much time on that.
I said we've known this about him. We've seen his business practices. We've seen him come in and take over Twitter and do mass layoffs. Like we know he has no regard for other people. Um, and so yeah, I don't know. We people need to be listening and paying attention. So in case he tries to make some ploy for something that you don't get behind it, but yeah, he's a lunatic. He's like a
It's
real life
dangerous.
Lex Luger to me. He's a fucking comic book
Yeah,
character.
or something like that. Yeah. I just want to put it out there so people who are listening to this episode, make sure you go and research that, share it, and
Lex
talk
Luthor.
about it with everyone you know because this man is dangerous and doesn't value your life.
Lex Luthor. I'm gonna lose all my black nerd cred because I fucked that up.
What did you call him?
I said Lex Luger. Was that a wrestler? I think that was a wrestler.
Yes, but I heard, well, I knew what you meant, so I guess that's just what I heard. But okay, so now I want to jump over to what's going on with Agent Orange with Trump and the fact that he is doing this like mass deportation. Now, what we know from the numbers, we know who showed up and did not vote for Trump, and we know who did show up. So, right now, we have a lot of Latino, Hispanic, Mexican people who are fearing what is going on right now, making videos saying, "Where are the Black Lives Matter people? Where are Black women? Why is no one standing with us?" And a lot of Black women are responding with videos saying, "Oh, sis, we did our job. If you look at the statistics, we went to the polls. We did not vote for this man. We warned you guys when you were sitting up going to his, little rallies and talking about you were going to vote for him. We told you what. Listen to what he's saying at that podium. He is letting you know every time he opens his mouth what he's going to do, and why you would think that you're going to be exempt from that. We have no idea. But now that the hammer has come down, people are looking for us to rally with them, to stand with them to fix it. And you have other people like Funky Dineva, Q. He came out and said, "Black women, it's time for y'all to sit this one out." Honestly, Black women are the most nurturing, loving people on the planet. And, not all of us are like that, but the majority of us, when we see other people hurting, even people who have done us wrong, we could be with a dude who just got through whooping on us. Now, this is stupid. I will say this. This is not, I don't condone this. But we could be with a man who just beat us up, and when the cops come now, we're going to defend him. No, I fell down the steps. Now, Meg the Stallion up here trying to make up stories for Shorty Doo Wop, bald head dude. And what's his name?
Tory Lane,
Going this in jail?
Tory Lanez.
Yes, him. Um, and people like, why would you do something like that? We are a people who like to protect and to nurture and make things feel safe. And so, but we've done that so much. When Black people are hurting, when Black women are being done wrong, we're being overlooked, we're being mistreated at work. I don't see the Latin community or the Mexican community standing with us on things. And this is the population of Black people as a whole. Nobody comes to our defense. We are always rallying with other people, but it's very rare that people come to our defense about things for us. When we were asking for a crime bill specifically for us, everybody thought that was so pointless. But they came out with an Asian one, everybody was for it. They came out with one for the LGBTQIA, everybody was for it. But people leave us to stand alone. And we're only good as bodies and collateral damage when they want us to stand with them and rally. Now we have people outside this country of all kind of races and creeds and colors George Floyd showed us how the world will stand with us with the injustices that are happening to Black people in this country. But in this country, we are definitely bottom of the totem pole regarding if whether or not somebody cares about us. You do have great people. And here's the thing, you and I talked about this before when we were talking about Malcolm X, which I think we're going to get to with another question. Um, we need white people to stand with us if we want to stop this. If we want injustice and racism and all these lynchings to stop, and this, looks like we're back on the path to segregation, slavery, and all kinds of stuff again, we do need to stand and unify. We need everyone to stand and unify with us. We really do. But until we see that in droves, I have great, I know great white women and not so many, a couple of white dudes, but who don't like what they're seeing going on, but they're also silent. I don't see them posting about these things. They will call me or text me to tell me how they feel. I don't agree with that. I'm so sorry this is happening to you all, blah, blah, blah. But I don't see them rah, rah, rah saying that on their social media, which makes me feel away because your silence is not golden. It actually speaks more or speaks volumes more than what you think it does. And so I do agree with Funky Dineva. I'm thinking, and so do these other Black women who are posting. We're tired. We're tired of doing the work. We're tired of trying to warn people. I don't care who we're talking about. Specifically, we're talking right now about what's going on with the deportations. And I'm tired of being called to action and demanded to come and protect when you didn't listen to me. This is not our fight. As humans, it should be everybody's fight. But until I see everybody standing with us, I am not expending a bunch of effort on this. When I sat there and watched them do this to themselves. Have you seen this going on? Do you even know what I'm talking about?
No, because I don't tune in
I know your
to that kind of
algorithm
stuff.
is pristine,
I,
baby.
I'm not gonna say pristine. It's just the way I like it. I'm probably missing out on a lot of things, but on purpose. But yeah, I understand and agree with everything that you said. Like, yes, um, we it's not reciprocated. You know, the kind of support that we show, and especially more specifically, Black women show for other groups. Yes, it's wrong. Um, yes to everything you said, but um, you do what's right because it's the right thing to do. And then the other thing that's pressing on me with this is because this has been like an ongoing theme in my life personally, for the last, I don't know, couple of months, is that we have to start seeing the things coming. When you see them do it to them, know that it's probably going to be done to you. So to me, like, right now, if this is the group he's targeting and this is what he's trying to do to this group, we should only be expecting that when he's done, we're somewhere on the list. And we're not going to get deported, or who knows what the strategy is going to be. But, if you're of this mindset, you don't stop with one group. So now, to me, is not the time to be vengeful or, you know, as somebody very important to me would say, tit for tat. Like, no, they weren't there, but the stakes are too high to pay them back right now. Yes, they did this to themselves, but the stakes are too high to play the "I told you so" game. That's the way I feel about it. I'm not a black woman, but just as a black person, to me, I think that the stakes are too high for vengeance and retribution and all of that. If
Well,
we
let me
don't
interject
stop it
real quick
now, it's
because I
coming
don't
our
think
way.
that what we're doing is vengeance or retribution. Us sitting down and being quiet and letting them figure this out for themselves is not retribution. It's not vengeance. It's taking a break because we are tired. We're not going to continue to be utilized and used and abused by people who, again, will not turn around and stand with us. We come to your rescue now. And what exactly do you think we're supposed to do though? Like for real, we can make videos and share your videos and do all of that, but Agent Orange does not care. So you want us to come and expel all of our energy for you when you know you wouldn't do it in return. So it's not retribution and it's not vengeance. It's us saying, look, we didn't get you in this situation. It's unfair for you to call us out. You can't demand anything of us. We don't owe you a damn thing. So me saying, no, this is not my fight. Go and harass white men. Go and harass white women. Go and call out any other ethnicity. Why is it just black women? It's insane to me.
And
And it's not fair.
well, I'm not saying that it's fair, and I'm not saying um, you're obligated or any of those things. What I'm saying is that this is our fight. That if we don't stop it now or start coming together now, it's coming our way. So right now, even if the only reason not to participate is because they didn't participate with us, then we're shooting ourselves in the foot. Like, it's coming, if it's coming our way. So we can start fighting now or we can wait.
I say we start fighting and preparing to protect ourselves. I don't have energy to expel to people who don't listen to me and they thought they were white adjacent and they thought they were better than us and didn't want to listen to us. And now that you've done the thing that we told you was going to go completely wrong, now you want to listen. Bye. So it again, I'm willing to stand and unify as black people, and I'm willing to do the work with anybody who wants to stand with us, but you don't get to call upon me to do anything for you when you wouldn't do it for me and when you didn't listen to us when we told you this was going to be that. So let them unify. Let them do the work. Let them work together and we
They
can
can.
unify over here and brace for whatever that's coming our way.
We
But
need
I'm
each other.
I'm tired of
We
doing the
need
work
each other.
personally. I don't have it in me. Okay. So the next thing I want to talk about, staying on this, black people type of thing. You like to say we need to bring shame back.
Facts.
And I made a post. There was a terrible video somebody made, and she was so shameful. And my response was, yeah. Can we bring shame back in 2025? And there was a woman who really just was so upset by that because she thought that she thinks that shame is a very terrible thing. That shame is a bad thing, and it's accusatory, and it's punishing, and it's traumatizing, and all of these things. And she was saying, why not say let's learn, some self-worth? Why not say let's do better? Like, why is it that people want to say we need to bring shame back? And my response to her was, I'm not saying that people need to shame her, but I think it is very healthy for a person to have some shame about themselves. That you look at something and you would feel bad for doing this ridiculous thing where other people could see you. We used to have a point in time where when you wanted to do something crazy or maybe a little naughty, a little nasty, you didn't want your pastor or your mama or your granny or somebody to see you and somebody to know. Now people are putting every single sick, weird, freaky, psychotic, grown up, time information about themselves on the internet. And so I do think it's a healthy amount of shame. So whatever you want to call it, something to stop you from going too far and doing too much and for the sake of money, fame, likes. If we had more of that, I don't think social media would be the terrible place that it is. So my question to you is when you say, let's bring shame back, what do you mean?
Yeah, I mean that's what I mean. I think we have normalized too much. Like we've been in a bad place for so long, um, that now, like I- you and I were having a conversation the other day. Like we've transitioned from this place of tolerance into like celebration. You know, bad things happen. Some of the stuff that has happened to us, your relationship status, or or these kids out of wedlock, or some of this other stuff. These things happen, and somebody shouldn't be. Uh, I don't want to use the word punished, but they shouldn't be ostracized, for the mistakes they made. But we should be able to call it a mistake. We should be able to call some of this bad behavior. You know, you still free to do it, but I don't have to co-sign everything you do, and I don't have to only say something positive about everything you do. If you do something publicly that I think is deplorable or that I think is wrong, and I want to make sure that other people who see it understand that it's wrong and don't just, because like you said, silence says a lot. When people are doing these things and everybody just says nothing because you can't say anything negative about it, it sounds like we're on board with it. It sounds like we're co-signing it, and we have become complicit to, the decline of morality in this country or in this world. And when I say bring shame back, I'm just saying, like, let's call something wrong wrong. Let's call something bad bad. I don't hate you. I don't think that something bad should happen to you. I don't think you should be denied anything, but I'm not going to sit here and say what you did was good. And I think,
I
if
agree
if there were
100%.
more people
And
willing to say that's you shouldn't do that, maybe people wouldn't be so blatant with doing it.
yeah, and you people listening to the sound of my voice, you have to stop calling somebody a hater because they don't agree with everything that you do. I am not your yes man or your yes woman. Okay? If you, especially when you ask my opinion, stop asking my opinion. How about that? But if you came from me, if you're my child or you're my sibling, because I'm the oldest sibling on one side, and then I have a like 4'8" sister who's older than me. So for real, I'm the big sister on that side too. But what's up, Trish? Um, I truly feel like you have to be willing to listen to all of it. You have to understand that because I love you, I'm going to tell you the real. I'm not up here trying to hate on you and to stop your money, but I also don't want you to think that you got to be a hoe or a prostitute, or that it's okay for you to, because you got your heart broken by a dude, now it's okay for your ultimate goal in life to go and do that to every man you see, because now you're creating more monsters to hurt other people. Like if you're a toxic person, I'm gonna call you out on it. The same way if you thought I was doing something toxic, I would want you to come and tell me. You have to stop expecting people to go along with everything that you're doing. And come on, stop fronting because half the time y'all know y'all up to no good. You know that what people are telling you is right, and you just mad because you're ashamed of yourself, as you should be.
As you should be.
So I agree. We do need to bring shame back. We need to bring maturity back, accountability, if it ever existed in women, because the way the men talk right now, it clearly hasn't. Um, but there's a lot of work that we need to do, and there's a lot of talents that we have, and we are a resilient people, and we know how to persevere. And I feel like when you stop and do what everybody else is doing, when you stop and do the most ridiculous, moronic, soul snatching, degrading crap for likes, or because you trying to break on the scene. I don't know what it is you're trying to do. But when you do that, you sell yourself short, and you definitely sell us short. If you're a woman doing it, you sell all women short. If you're a black person doing it, you sell black people short. I think that what you have to understand is that women and black people specifically are under a microscope so strong right now that anytime anybody sees us doing anything, it's going to be called out in the most heinous and egregious ways. And I know we grew up saying, and this is one of your favorite things to say too, Flan, you shouldn't care what people think about you. I'm going to tell you, like I've always said, there is a lot that can happen to you because of what somebody thinks about you. Your car break down and you go knock on the door and somebody see a black person standing on their porch. If they think black people are wild animals, you getting shot through the door. So you do need to care about what people think about you. And there are levels to this. As a whole, I'm talking about as a people. Maybe not personally if your neighbor doesn't like you, but you might want to care about that too because they are also people. These white people out here shooting their black neighbors left and right. Okay. So we have to put some level of care and concern in knowing what people think about us and being able to prepare and protect ourselves because of that. But if you're a part of the problem, you're a part of why they think so negatively about women or they think so negatively about black people, you should be ashamed of yourself. You really should.
But I don't ever want to go so far as to tell people what they should and shouldn't do. But what I want to say is that I think people have gotten freedom confused. Freedom does not mean no consequences. You are free to do whatever it is. I'm not telling you you can't do it. And if you want to put it on Facebook, enjoy yourself. But understand, I'm also free to have my opinion on it. And your freedom does not mean you do not get consequences for what you do. You do this crazy stuff and you put it out there. Somebody might have something to say about it. Somebody might look at you a certain way. And to the lady who responded to your post, I just want to say accountability, guilt, shame, those things come with self-worth. When you know who you are and what you're capable of, you feel some kind of way when you fall short. And that's motivation enough to make you do better. So all of these things go hand in hand. Don't get so butthurt over a word. Anyway,
Okay, moving on to the next thing. So, um, I do. What's his name? Lonnie Johnson. Is that his name? I want to get it right. I do want to give a shout out to the man that you sent me in the chat as well that created the Super Soaker
oh,
because I didn't know a black man created the Super Soaker, but I have had some amazing times with those water guns. Are you kidding me? So yes, shout out to the man that did that. I think his name is Lonnie Johnson.
I feel like I've created some super
um,
soakers in my day too. But it's another story.
wow, is that what you said?
We can keep going.
Unbelievable.
You're supposed to just keep going. See,
Oh,
that's how
no, no,
that.
no. We gonna
You're supposed
pause
to
for the
just keep
cause. I
going.
wanna make sure everybody else heard what you said too.
They heard me.
Rewind it,
They heard
folks.
me.
Rewind it, my good people. It was a good one, but it completely ridiculous. Um, so I have been talking to you about this young man, and I shared this in the chat as well. So I want to talk about Burkina Faso's new president, Ibrahim Traore. I think that's how you pronounce it. So he has dropped French as the official language. He has removed French colonial rulers' names from streets. He has banned colonial era barista wigs. He has paid off debt to the West and taken control of the country's resources. This is what you call an independent African country. And for all of his hard work to break free of France, their hold, them raping and pillaging the resources over there, what does he get? Multiple. I think it's over 27 assassination attempts. These people from France, these horrible, wicked people who are, and I'm not saying everybody in France is, I'm talking about the people who are trying to kill him. The people who have called forth for his slaying, his assassination, and the people who are willing to try to do it are deplorable human beings. And the only reason that you're doing this to this man is because he wants your grip. He wants your knee off their neck. He wants your grip off their neck, so that they can be a free country. I'm so proud of him. I am so in awe of this young man. He seems to be very, very brilliant and very brave. And he reminds me of a Malcolm X that after, like you were telling me, after what we were talking about, because I knew about this before, but when he came back and was talking about the fact that, he was always militant, but he was talking about the fact that we needed to think broader. We needed to do more than just protest. This young man is doing that. He is making the moves to remove his oppressors. You cannot be here anymore. And we sit back and we watch them attempt to assassinate him over and over and over again. One, had you heard of him, beyond me sharing this? Have you been paying attention to what's been going on over here? And if not, how do you feel about that? Like, is that a proud thing? Is that something that you think we could look at and start to make our plans?
No, I wasn't familiar with him prior to you sending it to me. Yeah, it's definitely a proud thing. Um, and I think it is something that we need to see in terms of just understanding the level of determination and fortitude it takes to make a change like this. To get from under centuries or of oppression. Um, yeah, there are going to be some people that don't want to see that happen and are going to fight very hard to try to prevent it. And we've got to kind of steel ourselves to be ready for that. But it's possible, and you're watching somebody do it, and you know, and we're of the same ilk. So if we decide that we want to do it, it can be done. But it's a road, it's a process.
Absolutely. A long one where you got to be battle ready. You have to be a master strategist. And you need to get you a crew behind you, you can trust that can help you with this because he has people that are helping him stay safe. People who are willing to jump in front of that bullet or in that, poison or whatever it is to protect him because they know he's going to do the work. And the work that he is doing is for the betterment of the people. And I just salute him, take my hat off to him. He is super dope. And I hope that everybody who tries to come against him meets an end, and cannot come back and hurt him or try to deter what he's trying to do or break through what he's trying to do. Meet your own end, so you're trying to bring about his. And the last thing I want to talk about, because yeah, this is going to be another hour, but you know what? We were gone for 2 weeks, so hey, they probably ready for us to be here. There was a video that I saw today about a group of people. There were two companies that got together and they went over to Ghana and they talked to the Guyanese. I think that's how you please, Lord have mercy, Jesus, government. And they said, we want to start a town here. We want to start a town here and we want to um, have black people. You guys, Ghana is calling us home, saying, if you're not treated well over there in the United States, come here, come back home. So we want to do business with you. And so the government over there said, okay, well, we'll give you 200 acres of land and we'll see what you do. We'll let you build a small town before we give you more to build an entire city. And these two companies went over there, and that's exactly what they're doing. And nobody's talking about it. So I definitely wanted to bring it to the forefront here and talk about it. But I think this is amazing because I have friends who have moved to several places in Africa. I have friends who are moving to the Philippines, to Bali, um, and to Portugal. Like people are seeking an asylum and a new life away from a country that has done nothing but mistreat us the entire time that we've been here. Um, and I think it sounds like an amazing idea. I hope they thrive and they flourish, but when it comes to us seeing kind of sort of a mass exodus mentality and getting out of the United States, how do you feel about that? And what do you think about the idea of starting off with a small town in the hopes of building a big city over there in Ghana just for American Black people? That's what it's for us to build a home of like-minded individuals who know what we dealt with here to thrive and flourish over there.
Um, that's a loaded question. Uh,
Mhm.
yeah, I think it's dope, and you know, I guess I don't know about a mass exodus. I like the idea, and I'm all for those who want to participate, and if they feel like that's the move to make. Me personally, um, and this is gonna get me into trouble, but I got to be who I am. Uh, I think I have a different relationship as a black person in America with America. I 100% know, the wrong that's been done and how we've been treated over here. I also know that there are a lot of things that I have and a lot of opportunities that have come my way because I'm an American, and a lot of things I've been spared because I'm an American. And part of that in me, I know I had ancestors and things that died and bled to build this country, and I feel like I should hold it to the fire and make it live up to its creed. I feel like I should be here to make it better, and I think that those things can happen simultaneously. There are those who feel like they need to leave and they need to go someplace else and build this new city, and that's beautiful. And for those who want to stay and build America and make America the country it was supposed to be, I don't see anything wrong with that. I feel like I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate mail for this, but you know that's my stance.
Um, we've definitely had some heated conversations, that I knew needed to be had before we got up here. Cause yeah, I am a huge. See, here's my thing. If I thought that we stood a chance at being able to thrive here without oppression, without racism, without whatever this dude has coming. This is my thing. I would love it for those people to go and thrive and flourish there and then come back home after 4 years. You're right. Our ancestors built this country. This country is ours, along with the indigenous people. We didn't colonize it. We didn't come to conquer it. We weren't raping and pillaging and doing all those things that our oppressors were doing. But they don't want us here. They teach us that all the time. You have too many situations where we are the most qualified for something and we never get it. I'm dealing with a situation right now at work where the people in charge and who are supposed to be ethical are the most unethical and immoral people I have ever experienced working with in my life. And they give jobs to incompetent people, white women, who don't know the job at all and then try to force and demand that black women train them. Like, this is a horrible situation. This is a horrible country when it comes to how they treat black people compared to white people. Yes, I've had opportunities too. And yes, I know some great white people who are human beings. That does not take away from the fact that when they see me, like if a cop pulls me over, my heart rate is through the roof because I know I ain't did nothing wrong. Even though I didn't do anything wrong, though, depending on what psycho crazy person with a badge and a gun gets out that car, my life could change drastically or even end. So the amount of the lack of safety and care and concern and love and consideration and respect and ethical treatment that I receive from this country that we young black man 21 years old just got lynched in North Carolina a week or two ago. Like, this place is horrible. And yeah, you're gonna have some black people who say, well, that hasn't been my experience. Give it time, boo. Because up under this clown, you don't know what's coming. And I also don't want to hide in this bubble, even if I had a life where it was cool when I had these opportunities. I don't want to pretend like I don't see what's going on with my brothers and sisters. We're not safe here. And until we can learn to unify and come together to kind of deflect and overcome some of these things, we're just like a walking targets. Like you said, they're picking on the Hispanics and Mexicans now, but what do they have planned for us, and why do we want to stay here for it? I'm torn because my kids have a great education here, and I don't know much about education other places. All I know is a whole lot of foreign people come here to go to school, so something's going on. And I don't know about the healthcare systems and the drinking water in certain places. Like, it's going to be a lot. It's a lot that's different. But I also know the propaganda here that leads us to believe that we're the best and the biggest in the world, and we're not. I don't believe that at all. And so I don't know. I might want to venture off and do something different. I'm tired of being in a place where you're telling us and you know what? If you've deported all the Mexicans and all the black people get up and leave, who the hell is going to do all your work for you? Maybe the Ukrainians that they let in. They'll let in all the white immigrants all day long. That's what they really want, and a complete white nation. So why are we here denying them of what they want?
Yeah, again, I feel differently. I feel like you said, this is our country, and we built it, and
They don't recognize
I
that.
feel the need to. I don't feel like it's a hopeless enterprise to create the change. I think we've been. There were people that were very close and made efforts, and progress was made, and we lost some of that. And you know, I'd like to spend the time bringing that back, or like you said, we need to unify. I'd like to. I haven't given up on unification. I haven't given up on those things, but I have no. I don't think ill of anybody who feels differently, and I wish the absolute best, if there is an exodus and there's this city, save me a spot if I'm wrong. Like I'm not, it don't have to be one side or the other. Like it's just, oh, if that's the choice that you're making, and if that's that's where your information and experiences have led you to, then, I, God bless you. And like I said, hold me a plot of land or something, or
No, no, no,
save me
no.
a spot on
You
the
come
couch.
now or you can't come at all.
See, and that's the problem. That's the problem. Like it don't have to be that way. It don't have to. It's not a us. It's not a us versus us. We still us. So
Yeah, we
like I said,
are.
I have
We are.
no.
I think
I
I
don't
think I'm
think.
just tired of it.
Yeah, and I understand that. And if you're tired of it, and this is an option, I think that that's a great option for you. But if I choose to stay and fight, I don't want to be looked down upon.
No, I'm not looking down upon you. I just, wonder how many screws you got loose. But yeah, it's your life.
Yeah,
Do what you want. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
same thing.
Hey.
And that's I wish you meant that.
Um, I do want to end with some words of encouragement for the people. I know this DEI thing, this rollback, and Aldi apparently is the newest one to roll theirs back as well. In case you didn't know, look into that. But I do want to say, there are some tough times coming. I'm not going to try to sugarcoat things for you. I work in higher education, and I am literally watching, and hearing about and experiencing some of the things that are happening with the changes with this attack against DEI and the attack that they had done on affirmative action, and we got the overturning of Roe versus Wade. Like people of color are under attack. The LGBTQIA and trans community, or if they're a part of that, so that community is under attack. Women are under attack, um, and it's all at the hands of a bunch of mediocre white men and a bunch of stupid white women who are confused and voting against their own interests, their own body, and their own freedoms, and some sellout coons who just I make no excuses for, and people who are now being deported, so they won't be here anymore to be able to make the same mistake. I guess I don't know, but I do want to say. For those of you who want to stay, for those of you who feel like we still have a chance to unify, a lot of times you have to hit rock bottom before you actually get it. And maybe this is the rock bottom that's coming. And maybe this will wake Black people up to say, okay, it's time to mobilize. It's time to look back at what we learned from Fred Hampton. It's time to look at what we learned from Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Marcus Garvey, anybody that you want to look to and see, any master strategists that you want to look at, take the best from, and build and move forward. But that's our only option, people. If you're going to stay in this country and you don't want to end up in the prison system, you don't want to end up, in a new rash of Philando Castiles and Mike Browns and George Floyd's. We are going to have to start to police our own communities. We're going to have to start taking care of each other, speaking to each other. It's okay to look at each other and say good morning. It's okay, to hold a conversation. It's okay when you see somebody of melanated skin to have a conversation with them and not mistrust them. It is okay to look out for each other. It's really our only option at this point. And when things look super, super dark and super bleak and you have no idea what we're going to do, look to your neighbor, look to your family, look to your friends. Start building in your community. Get the gardens up and running because they are definitely poisoning the food. Thank Bill Gates for that. Let's seriously get together and brainstorm and make this happen. When we say boycott, when we say don't purchase from these people, when we say drop these companies, stand with us. Let's show them how mighty our dollar is. They say y'all people put black people put $1 trillion into weave and bonnets and lashes and all of that other stuff. Put that into black owned bonnets and lashes and weave companies and houses. Hit them in their pockets because you know that's what they hate. If we can stand together and unify like Jewish people, keep our dollar circulating around our own communities 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12 times before it ever leaves it, build up an amass wealth, and then also, again, police our communities. Because look, don't think they won't try to bomb you on U.S. Soil. They've done it so many times before when we unify. Black Wall Street is not the only time that they did that. So understand what you're going to be risking in doing this, but understand that it's worth it for your kids, and their kids too. We're going to have to be so activated, so together and so unified to get this done that you're going to have to think about a complete overhaul for your life. It may not be as easy as running over to Walmart. You may have to go find the black grocery stores, the black hospitals. If they don't exist, build them. We can do this, and it's going to take work, but you have to believe in something better because what's happening right now isn't working.
Yeah, I just say to people, figure out what you believe in. You know, sit down with yourself and make sure you understand what it is you think is right, what it is you think is wrong, what your principles and morals are. Make sure your children have those. Make sure you teach them to them, to your children, so that they don't get taught by this world. But do your research and do whatever you feel is best for your family. But stand in that. Now is going to be a time where wherever it is that whoever it is that you are, you're going to have to stand in it. You're gonna have to stand on something. If you don't stand on something, you're gonna be, you know, tossed with the waves. So, figure it out what it is you believe in, hold on to it with everything you got. And our track record for, resilience and survival is undefeated. So fear
Absolutely.
not.
Absolutely. Okay, so you said stand in it quite a few times. What you standing in?
Your beliefs and what's right, who you are.
Just make sure we're clear here
Yeah.
because you've been
More
triggered.
of us need to
All
be
right.
clear with ourselves about who we are and be that.
Yeah, 100%. So that was an excellent show. I think we touched on a lot of things. This is Black History Month, so I want to make sure that we incorporate some more inventors and Black excellence for the rest of the shows for this month. And for real, maybe we could just talk about Black inventors or creators, just mention somebody every episode for the rest of the year. Because I don't subscribe to just talking about Black history in February, that's for sure. But um, yeah, this is a good show. So until next week, guys, remember to always be good to yourself and be kind to others. Holla.
How